In this video, we are going to talk about uniform standards, uniform expectations. At some point before you started school here, you should have signed a student kitchen uniform policy, making sure that you understand what the expectations are. I will ask you when you start your classes in Fowler to do this again, so that I have it on record that you understand what the expectation is. I took the expectations and I put it into a checklist format, and we're going to talk about that now. So here are my stick figure drawings of the biggest expectations: your black hat, your jacket, your pants, your socks, your shoes, your t-shirt, and your apron. And we'll go through each one over here. So for your hat, the school policy is that all students are wearing beanies, this style of hat. The hat by the policy has to be black. And that's really all the policy says. It has to be black. Our expectation is that, whether you have hair or you don't, whether you have a little bit of hair or you have tons of hair, you're going to wear a black hat. If you have to adjust your hat based on the volume of hair that you have, I'm pretty okay with that. You can wear whatever hat you need to wear in order to get your hair into it, but it has to be a black hat. Moving on to shoes. Shoes have to be black. They have to be oil resistant. They have to be slip resistant. They can't have more than a 2-inch heel. And they have to be closed toe. Those are non-negotiables. If you come into the kitchen and you're wearing sneakers or tennis shoes, whether they're black or not, they're not oil resistant, they're not slip resistant, they can't be worn in the class. It's a live kitchen. It works like a live kitchen. Sometimes we have oil spills, sometimes there's water on the floor, sometimes you don't get to a mop as fast as you can, and it stays on the floor for a few minutes. Your shoes have to be oil resistant, they have to be slip resistant, black, no more than 2-inch heel, and closed toe. Okay, moving on to the jacket, to your chef coat. It has to be college issue. We don't wear one from our job outside of here. The ICI logo is on the left chest. Your name embroidered is on the right chest. It has to be clean, and it has to have no wrinkles. Free of wrinkles. Keeping in mind that as an open kitchen, where the guests see everything that's happening, a jacket that looks like it's been slept in, or a jacket that's not clean, or a jacket that's turned gray because it hasn't had any bleach put into the water to wash it, those kind of things are not acceptable. The jacket has to be white, it has to be clean, it has to be free of wrinkles. Moving on to pants. Something we see a lot of. Your pants have to be clean all the way down to the hem. And speaking of the hem, they have to be hemmed. I'll just tell you right here that you can get your pants hemmed and you can get the embroidery done at the same time. Very simple. They also have to be the checkered standard issue school pants. Your t-shirt, this is one that people forget all of the time. Your t-shirt has to be black or white. No logos. No writing. So moving on to aprons. It needs to be clean. It needs to not be wrinkled. And it needs to be the standard issue white. Socks, another place that people forget there's rules. No ankle socks. And they must be black or white. Jewelry. There's only one rule when it comes to jewelry. And the rule is no jewelry. If it's visible, it comes off before class. The school does allow a wedding band on the left hand, on the third finger, and if it's smooth, it can't have any stones. That's the only allowance in terms of jewelry. There is no other allowance in terms of jewelry. The rule is no jewelry. Okay, hair. Also, we keep it fairly simple when it comes to hair. We really just have two places where we really address it. No bangs. Can be visible in the front of your hat. And no hair touching your back. I think from this view, you can probably see that my hair's not touching my back. It is long enough to touch my back, but it doesn't touch my back at work. I have it up so that it can't. Fingernails. They have to be kept short. They have to be kept clean. Very clean. No polish of any kind. And no fake nails of any kind. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And what you would expect in this environment. Perfume and cologne. No perfume, no cologne. But we definitely would like you to wear deodorant every day. And let's talk about facial hair, just as the last category, I guess. We want everyone who has facial hair to be clean shaven every day. If you have a beard before you start school, it must be maintained at 1/4 of an inch at all times. It must be well groomed at all times. And you cannot grow the hair after the start of the semester. That means that you have to have had the beard, the mustache, the sideburns, whatever it is, established before class starts. You have to be willing to cover it. And it cannot be more than 1/4 inch at any point in time, and it must stay well groomed at all times. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have on this subject. And I also, like I said, I will have an actual checklist that you can put into your daily paperwork so that you can see whether or not that you are meeting expectations. But again, it's a live restaurant. And there are expectations. This is what we want.